Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Kabir Considers. In this video, I'm going to react to the top 10 courtroom outbursts and sentencing reactions. Now, I've done one of these before, I think, like quite a while ago, and just seeing the look of realization on the faces of the offenders when they realize that they're going to spend the next 20, 30, 40 years behind bars. It's just like they just can't believe it almost, even though they committed the crimes that they did. And I just find it interesting. Like, did you not expect to get sent to prison? Were you thinking that you were going to get like a year or something like that, probation? So yeah, this video here, I'm sure it's going to be really, really interesting to watch. So let's do it.
Breaks down in the courtroom. With tears streaming down his face, he told the judge he's frustrated with the legal process.
I still don't have copies of the things that I've asked for. I don't have a copy of anything. I don't even know what the prosecutor's going to use against me.
Well, probably your statements, Mr. Thompson.
Thompson is accused of shooting to death Twinsburg police officer Josh McTarian in July 2008. Wednesday afternoon, McTarian's widow Holly sat in court as Thompson told a Summit County judge he's having a tough time in jail. He complained that he's not receiving his mail, that he's constantly being harassed.
How can these people just do anything they want? They don't even follow their command the right way. I've been harassed for I don't know how long. I'm trying to hold it in just to get this over with.
Thompson has been through
It's the guy. Look at this guy's face.
Their command the right way.
Look at his face.
I've been harassed for I don't know how long. I'm trying to hold it in just to get this over with.
It's like he's trying not to laugh.
Thompson has been through a number of lawyers. His current attorney, Kerry O'Brien, told the judge he's planning on filing an additional 40 motions. The judge agreed to give him one more week to prepare. Faced with the death penalty, an exasperated Thompson
The death penalty.
told the judge he worried about getting a fair trial.
Your Honor, just execute me there because I can't get any kind of justice. I'm tired. I'm at the end of my rope.
Well,
What can I do?
In Summit County, Elisa Amigo, Fox 8 News.
Oh my
Tell me where the freak's at.
What is that?
Oh, beautiful. Spacious sky.
A visibly moved Judge Charles S. Temple said the details surrounding the death of 3-year-old Brielle Gage will haunt him.
The victim of this crime and the pain, the terror, and the fear that she felt is unspeakable.
And with that, he handed down the maximum sentence to Caitlin Marin, the Nashua mother convicted of second-degree murder for beating little Brielle to death.
Oh my God.
Ms. Gage, you're sentenced to the New Hampshire State Prison for not more than life nor less than 45 years.
The 27-year-old was credited for about 2 years of time already served. The prosecutor described how little Brielle was kicked, punched, and slammed against the wall in November 2014,
God.
saying her death was slow and painful.
Oh my God.
Marin had faced a minimum of
She's smiling.
35 years in prison, but prosecutors asked
She's
for a longer
smiling.
sentence.
What she did is wrong.
I hope that the prisoners find out what she did. I hope they find out what she did in there.
She's a murderer and she deserves to be punished. But we're asking for justice and nothing more.
Caitlin Marin's mother told the court how devastated she is by the loss of her granddaughter.
I cry for Caitlin, too. I feel sorry. This is the rest of her life in prison.
Judge Temple called Brielle's death horrific.
My only hope is that Brielle's death sends a message to our society.
Why would you do this?
Us as people in this society, to our politicians, to our judicial system, that the #1 priority in this state, in our community, has to be to protect our most cherished resource, our children.
The severity of the blow
Why would you do that, man? Like, what kind of sick does that to a child?
to that child's leg, and to say that you did not recognize what had been done, to ignore what must have been the excruciating sounds that came from that child on a daily basis, is more than disconcerting to this court. And as such, the court finds it appropriate that each be sentenced to the State Department of Corrections for a period of life. You will get credit for any of the time that you've served. That will be
What? What's with the screaming? Why are you screaming? Why are you screaming? You do the crime, you do the time. It's as simple as that. Yeah. Yeah. Why did you do it? If you didn't want to go to prison for life, why did you do that? Why did you do it? What the hell is going on here? This is crazy.
He eventually decompensated to the point where he was sitting in a fetal position, naked, not eating, and not interacting with any human being.
Oh my
My
God.
son is dead, man. My son is dead. He need to go to prison. He don't need to be laying no mental hospital. He need to go to prison, man. Come on, sir. He want to play crazy. He wasn't crazy when he killed.
I'm guessing that's the victim's father.
Murdered my son, man. He wasn't crazy then, but he crazy now. All of a sudden he crazy now. You want to lay in a mental hospital? You done murdered my son, man, for nothing. When he was trying to get away from you. You were trying to get away from you, man. And you kept shooting him while his back was under the truck. You kept shooting him, man. You kept shooting him in his back. His back was turned to you, man. He was trying to get away from you. And you murdered him, man, like you murdered.
Man, my heart bleeds for this guy, man. Oh my God. He lost his son, and the guy who did it is claiming insanity. Oh, get the
You made it like that. Why you doing it like that, man? And you want to play crazy, man? You ain't crazy. You ain't crazy, man.
That's tragic. That's tragic. That's tragic. Oh my God.
On the morning of June 30th, 2014, my mom's birthday.
Guilty plea in Allenstown crash that killed retired teacher.
Miss Heath took away a husband of 45 years.
Through tears, Eliza Morris told the judge about the lasting heartache the death of her father caused for her family. The 66-year-old retired teacher, Michael Phelps, was on his way to volunteer at
Michael Phelps? That's the name of a swimmer, isn't it?
a local cancer center when his motorcycle was hit in a busy intersection in Allenstown. Today, the 25-year-old driver, Jordan Heath, took responsibility, but she was spared any jail time.
What? No jail time? Oh, that's some BS. That is some BS.
Certainly regret my actions that day, and I do understand the weight that they held.
Heath had first said faulty brakes were to blame, but prosecutors say she had been texting prior to the crash.
How on earth? So she's texting at the wheel and she gets no jail time. That's manslaughter. That's manslaughter. She should get at least 10 years. Nah, that is some BS.
Heath was charged with negligent homicide, but her trial in May ended in a hung jury. Today, she pleaded guilty to a lesser charge of vehicular assault.
Mike,
Assault?
Dad, Grampy had a big heart, and he would have wanted us to forgive you, and perhaps, in time, we will find it in our hearts. Today is a small step toward
This
our
is
forgiveness.
unbelievable.
To hear you admit guilt brings our family a bit of peace and closure.
Heath received a 12-month suspended sentence, and her license was also revoked for 5 years.
So that's
something
it. She lost her license for. What about the guy, the Hispanic guy, the truck driver, the one who killed? I think he killed a couple of people, but the brakes were faulty in his truck. He got given 100 years, and his brakes were actually faulty. Nah, this is bullshit.
Family says eases their minds.
Jeffrey McDonald was sentenced to up to 12 years behind bars for beating his girlfriend Alyssa to death last year in their Dongtown Hills home.
Lily was the daughter every parent wishes for: hardworking, humble, loyal, courageous, funny, loving, kind, beautiful, and intelligent. She was the definition of perfection. She was not only my daughter, she was my best friend. you get to speak to your mother and to your family. My daughter's not coming back.
So sorry for the pain I caused you. Sorry. This was the love of my life.
Then why'd you do it?
I just think the case can be summed up in 4 words. Melissa Johnson is dead because you, Mr. McDonald, are a coward. The autopsy reveals that Ms. Johnson had blunt impact injuries to her head, neck, torso, and extremities.
Oh my God.
The combination of her injuries and level of intoxication indicate that she was virtually defenseless. She didn't bump into a wall and knock the mirror off. She didn't fall and hurt her face off the bed, or her neck, or her back, or her side, or her arm, or her leg, or any other place that she has bruising and hemorrhaging. She wasn't snoring when you picked her up, unlike what you told the police. She was probably dead. You batted a defenseless woman who weighed 107 pounds.
107. So she was really small. Man, you
raised your hands to a woman. That makes you pretty low. In my book, that makes you a coward. But just when you think someone couldn't sink any lower than beating a 23-year-old woman to death, you proved everyone wrong. Before you left the apartment, you propped Miss Johnson up against the bed and took her picture. It is one of the most disturbing pictures I have ever been unfortunate enough to see.
Why did he do that?
It's upsetting to think that you would take a picture of someone in that condition and she looks as though she's already passed. It's disturbing to think that you left a human being in the state she was in and just went out after taking a picture that you posed. Your lack of compassion is palpable. You don't have an ounce of decency in your body. There are no words that can describe how depraved and despicable your actions are.
Man, that guy, that emotion was fake. Like the guy who I'm so sorry. You're not sorry. You're not sorry. I could see right through it. It was fake. Fake.
And he was taken from us.
Carolyn O'Brien, victim's sister, he was taken from us on my brother's birthday, which hurts very, very much.
On my brother's birthday.
Oh, man.
Which hurts very, very much.
Yeah. As the victim's family shared their pain, Tyrell Webster smirked. Routine questions before sentencing got responses like this.
Do that matter?
What? How dare you?
Last spring, Grover Cleveland Watson Jr. was gunned down during an argument. Today, Watson's sister, who is legally blind...
He's laughing. He's laughing. Oh, man. Man, I hope someone...
stood before Judge Jody Lubers and asked exactly where her brother's killer was standing so she could look at him as she spoke. Her initial offer of forgiveness?
But when I heard the story on the news, the first thing I did after I could close my mouth was just to ask God to forgive you. Because you didn't know what you were doing.
Turned cold.
Just so you know, he's laughing right now. I really don't care about the point. You know what? You laughing now. But the moment they get you behind those prison walls for the rest of your life, you will be somebody's girlfriend. And that smile will no longer be on your face. It will be tears.
The judge sentenced Webster to 18 years to life behind bars. From the Hamilton County Courthouse, Andrew Setters, WLWT News 5.
Man, there's some real sickos out there, aren't there? Like, there's some real people that you just would never, ever want to cut paths with. Like, why are you laughing? Why are you even if you don't feel any remorse, fake it. Fake it at least.
Whether you want to hear it or not, Mr. Grogan, you're an animal.
An angry admonishment from Fulton County Superior Court Judge Alfred Dempsey to defendant Tyler Grogan.
You're shooting at police, you violated that woman, and you don't want to hear it. Well, you're going to hear it, and I don't give a rat's behind whether you like it or not.
Wednesday, a jury convicted the Roswell man of nearly 30 charges stemming from this May 2011 standoff at the Aspen Point Apartments. Prosecutors say Grogan robbed 2 people here, then held them hostage for hours, repeatedly raping a woman as the SWAT team closed in. As Judge Dempsey prepared to sentence Grogan, he cursed.
Whoa.
Sit him down.
Whoa.
Given the defendant's actions, I got a different sentence I'm going to impose now.
7 consecutive life sentences plus 270 years in prison.
Woo! That judge dropped the hammer. 7 life sentences plus 200 years. He is never getting out.
His attorney told the judge Grogan is sorry for what happened and blamed his behavior on demons he's dealt with since his own mother's murder a few years ago.
He's sorry. He put himself in a situation which he did.
He ain't sorry.
He began to get out of hand.
Outside the courtroom, we rolled as Grogan's supporters got out of hand, cursing the police, the judge, the DA, even us, for the harsh sentence.
MMA fighter at the center of a police manhunt in Hialeah yesterday is back in the news tonight because of his behavior during his first court appearance this morning.
Just what are you doing, man? You look stupid. Just settle down.
Morning.
CBS 4's Ted Scouten live tonight at the Metro Justice Building with the story. Ted.
Rick and Rudabeh, normally in bond court, there's very little interaction between the judge and the defendant. Not so today. Police say that a man who is mentally ill unleashed on a judge today. The thing was, though, the judge really heard very little of what he had to say.
Sir, you were arrested for burglary to an occupied dwelling. It's from March 22nd of 2017.
It was supposed to be a routine bond hearing for John Chavez. He's been here before.
Good afternoon, sir.
Monday, he was before the same judge on a different charge and was released. Then he was arrested Wednesday in Hialeah, accused of running from police while holding a kitchen knife. Officers were there to serve a restraining order on him, obtained by his mom. That led to a huge search, including several schools being placed in lockdown.
I'm setting at no bond. There's probable cause for armed burglary. He had a knife in a closed area. Sir, I know it's upsetting right now for you.
That was just the beginning. He was about to get much more angry.
Sir, I know you're upset. I'm sorry.
Chavez is a mixed martial arts fighter seen here in the blue shirt. Police tell us he suffers from depression and schizophrenia. He's also bipolar. In court, his outburst continued even after his attorney turned off his mic.
You'll see Judge Hurst real soon, okay?
Apparently not okay.
Yeah, this guy clearly upstairs has some issues. I mean, just like, do you think that by you know, shouting and doing all of this in front of the judge is going to be like, yeah, let me turn back on his mic and hear what he has to say? No. You just look, you're making yourself your situation is getting worse.
Okay, he got more animated.
Corrections, can you take him out?
That didn't stop him either. He continued to unleash on Judge Mindy Glazer. She called for security again.
What are you saying?
Corrections.
Yes, they're coming, Your Honor.
With that, a guard arrives, stepping between Chavez and the camera, trying to get him to leave. He continued to shout, possibly not knowing the mic was off the entire time he was speaking. Finally, the jail guard,
you probably didn't know the mic was off,
able to get him to move along.
Okay.
Oh, this is a young woman who is struggling with an addiction she has since overcome, but not before it destroyed 2 families. Jessica Araujo smiled through her tears at friends and family as she came to learn her punishment for DUI manslaughter.
Wow,
the
she's
widow
smiling.
Of the man she killed wept as well.
Man, there's some
Araujo
psychos
was
out there.
blind drunk last April when she blew a light in southwest Miami-Dade and T-boned a Toyota, killing 48-year-old Najee El-Kadi, who was on his way to work. Araujo apologized to her victim's family.
I'm sorry for the pain that it caused your family, and I'm sorry for the pain that it caused my family.
Man, these crocodile tears. You were smiling seconds ago.
And everybody that cares about me.
Her attorney asked the judge for leniency to sentence Araujo to less than the minimum state guidelines require.
I think she could make a difference, but she can't make it in prison, Judge.
A cousin spoke up for Araujo, saying he knows the pain she inflicted because he's a friend of Javi Perez, the popular principal who lost both legs to a drunk driver who ran him over on a baseball field.
I witnessed firsthand a reckless driver veer off the road, crash into a dear friend of mine. His legs were amputated from the knee down.
Friends described Araujo as someone who struggled with addiction, but a good person with a good heart.
And I do not doubt for a second your...
Mate, good people don't drink and drive.
...remorse and how you feel right now.
But the judge didn't go below the guidelines, giving Araujo 10.5 years in prison, 9 years probation. The defense was disappointed.
She got off light, man. She got off light.
The prosecution resigned.
To get behind the wheel
and drive drunk and high has caused this tragedy that never should have happened.
The victim's widow didn't stop to talk with reporters, but said she was satisfied with the sentence.
Man, watching that video, I definitely got heated a little bit. I'm still in shock about the lady who was texting and driving, killed someone, and didn't get any jail time. 0 jail time. All she got was she lost her license for 5 years. That to me is just a complete unexplainable just failure of justice, in my opinion. That is a failure. How do you get no jail time? Someone's life was ended because of you. I don't know there. I really think that they should reopen that case, because let me know what you think, because to me that was some BS. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.